Hi everyone, thank you for coming tonight. So we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram now. So I'm here with Oleksandr Kolosii. So I'm gonna invite him also on the Instagram. Hi everyone. So is it working?
Oh yeah, it works.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Just a little cold here, but it's okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
No,
Like
thank you.
pleasure and like honor talk about your mouthpieces and about like my music and stuff.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It was a little short notice, but yeah, we are really glad to have you tonight. So yeah, let's get to it. So I have my first question was about your sound and how meticulous and precise you are about that sound. So what did you look for when you started to design your mouthpiece with us? What was your goal?
Okay. Well, the main goal was like to achieve the sound, like to get the sound what I was like searching for a long time,
Hmm.
and like when I was playing saxophone, like from my probably 20s, you know I was like really a huge fan of this tenor players with the like big dark warm sounds, such players as like Joy Lovano or like Seamus Blake or
Hmm.
like Mark Turner, uh, 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 Emily Saldana, and like one of my favorite saxophone players from uh, Scandinavia. He- So like his name is Carl Martin, and yeah, so like basically, that's so like I had like an idea of this kind of sound and like put in one, and like get my own thing, and so that was basically like
Okay.
like the conception, and like also I was actually like my first kind of goal is I was like searching for the mouthpiece which will be like really comfortable to play, and I could put like as much sound or like as much like air like as I like, because I like pretty big type opening and hard reads, and like always I had some sort of feeling when I was playing some like other mouthpieces that it had some sort of like a limitation when like it couldn't actually take more air, so and like with the Syos, I completely like I don't have this problem anymore really. So yeah.
Nice. Some people are telling me that your sound is a bit low. Can you just put your voice a little bit
A bit higher.
higher
Yeah,
volume?
just 1 second. How about like that? Maybe
Yeah,
should I just closer to the mic?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's better.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so yeah, maybe can we just have a little bit of can we hear your song? Can you play a little?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. 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 Yeah, something like, you know, I was I was searching for this big brown sound, but in the same time with this sort of like, like a crispy thing. I don't know how,
Mm.
how to say it right in English. Yeah, so that's basically was my my thing, what I was looking for a really long time until I got your mouthpiece. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. That was beautiful. Um, so you have Polish and Ukrainian origin, but you live in Copenhagen in Denmark. So was wondering how vibrant is the jazz scene there, and how does it compare to your home country?
Oh well, I was born in Ukraine, and I moved in 2012. So by the time I was like always had like an idea just to like go to different countries, like see the world, meet different musicians, just to get like like an idea of where I live, like I mean I'm talking about like the whole like Earth. And probably when I was 21 or something, I got opportunity just to get this gig on the cruise ships and stuff. It let me go around, see the countries, like also play with the, with great musicians, and also like one of the musicians what I've met, it's like an American trumpet player, James Cronin. He just been here during the this coronavirus period, and we had a couple of gigs, and we record my like a debut album, or yeah. So and like the jazz scene in like in Ukraine, in by that time it was quite local, only like very few cities being like busy, if you can say it, like surrounding you know like a jazz musicians and stuff. And like some of the cities, like my home city, there was more um like funky, groovy stuff, going on. But I was searching for something more jazzy.
Hmm.
And like after the 2012, I moved to Poland, and there actually I've met so many great musicians, like saxophone players, like really like world level, musicians, and they've been playing and like recording with the big names from from the States, and and stuff. But I moved to Denmark probably around 4 years ago. Yeah, because like Denmark and Copenhagen, like as I heard, as people say, it used to be like a capital of jazz music back in the days, and such a big name as like Dexter Gordon or Ben Webster. They used to live here, and like local musicians, they really got this like tradition jazz, uh, like in the blood, if you can say so. Like basically why I moved here, because it was um, like I heard like some of the local um, musicians, which now I got friends, and I had like opportunity to play together, um, and probably that's that's the vibe what I really like, and that's a musician what I could go to the same direction. But also once once in a while, when I have time and finance, I always like to go to New York, and just go to the local clubs, listen to the concerts, uh, get lessons, with my favorite musicians, just get this like inspiration, because
Mhm.
jazz is like a folk, like American music, so most of the like best musician, they're located in New York.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Thank you. So you will soon be releasing an album. So where you use the your new Syos on it. So can you tell us a little bit more about it? So what kind of music is it? Is this purely jazz, or do you have some modern twist on it?
oh well, I would say it has a bit of everything, but because I was recording it with a quartet, uh, with the my quartet, what I was playing for like for a long while, you know like all of these different like ideas, came to one thing, um, because we just played together a lot, really, and it was mainly my music, and also it's been like inspired by by music, what I like to hear, to listen to, like some of my favorite saxophonists, like also I like to check out always classical music, because everything what you can, I mean, like at least at my like opinion, and also I heard it from some some like other jazz musician, that like all of the like everything what you can hear in jazz music has been already, it, just see slightly different like interpretation, like everything has been already in classical music. If you listen to any pieces, you can hear all of this
Mhm.
altered chords, sharp nine, all of this
Yeah.
stuff, like all of this harmony, and yeah. So that basically was my main like inspiration of like while I was writing the music, and also like it came a bit in different time, yeah, and in the same time, like probably only a couple of weeks before I actually like made the record, I got the the final version of my custom mouthpiece. So I was really curious how how like it's gonna sounds like, and actually, like I was like I was so happy, and it actually like it sounded in the way how I thought it's gonna be. So I was pretty happy. And now in like secondary, I was. I was a bit, like unsure about how, like, how it's gonna feel, because usually I don't jump from like one mouthpiece to
Mm.
like to another. I've been, like, I use my, probably my previous mouthpiece I used for probably good 5 or 6 years. I've been, being honest. So, like, I was a bit worried, that how it's gonna go during the records and concerts, and it actually went well because it was so comfortable, like to play high notes, all of this stuff. Like I didn't really feel the difference. I just feel more like more confidence. It's actually like tunes all the way around, really. And yeah.
Great. that's a that's a nice thing about the mouthpiece. Now, if you can play it directly and feel comfortable, so we are happy.
Yeah.
We did our job well.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm, like honestly, I'm so thankful to you, because you did a really great job. I would, like I would definitely, like recommend for people who is watching, and probably thinking of
Mhm.
get South mouthpiece, and like especially about the the custom mouthpieces, because also for me it was. Mm, kind of like I was always scary to lose, my mouthpiece, because in a way, like
Mm.
if like for example, like if you go to any local shops, and like wherever you live, and like if you go to like any kind of sax shop, right, and you get, for example, specific model with a specific size, and you can take like three different mouthpieces, and like all of the mouthpieces which either handmade or either handmade finished. You know, like like yeah,
Yeah.
like if you try them, they all sound different.
Hmm.
And I was always kind of scary. Oh my god, if I will drop it or I will lose it somewhere, it's gonna be so difficult to get exactly the same mouthpiece. But the size is like as I was talking with all with one of your colleagues, you actually have this like a barcode, and you have this like system. So if something will happen with your mouthpiece, you can always just get a new one, like and it's gonna be like 100% the same, so you don't really have to worry uh, about that. And I think it's like it's a great thing of Syos.
Yeah. Okay. So I have another question. So, as a rising star in the saxophone world, what is your biggest dream or ambition?
Oh well, I'm still I would say that I'm still searching, really, because my main uh, yeah, man, like like if I go a bit deeper, like I came from a family of the professional musicians, but they was professional classical musicians. So I came from
Mm,
this
okay.
classical world, and I finished musical school as a piano player, and then probably when I was 14, I switched to play saxophone, and I played alto for many years, and then probably around 2021 I switched to tenor. Yeah, because I was just it just happened. I don't know. It just happened. If you search on internet, I probably have some records still, playing alto. Yeah, but
Okay.
so I kind of didn't have a choice to be, to do something else, because my, like my parents, they kind of like always pushing me in the right direction of, practicing and how to get to the like a discipline, how to get to the to the actual like routine of being professional musician, and make money on it, and stuff. So I was just doing my thing, I was checking out the different players, and mm, like I tried to sound like as better, like as I can, and get as better teachers, like check out different, like information. Being, I try to be surrounded of, like musicians who I really liked, like and like admire, and my biggest goal is just to, just to keep doing what I do, really, and probably get more concerts. That would be
Yeah.
great, especially during this coronavirus times, and stuff, and you know. Doing some like recordings. I would be so happy to travel more, and maybe in the future to make some like a collaboration with other musicians from different countries, and yeah, like especially around Europe, it's everything really close, and
Yeah.
and like if you can see now, it's just so many, so many really really good European jazz, like European jazz musician comes to the scene, and there's something going on, I would say,
Hmm.
I'll, like my my thoughts about it, that there's something completely changed in the whole like jazz industry, because also some of the big names from like New York jazz scene, they actually moved to Europe. Like
Yeah.
like some of the people, they live in like Paris, like where you at the moment. I know a couple of musicians who lives in Copenhagen. Like Seamus Blake. Yeah, I had like an amazing, like opportunity to have a week of like studying and playing at his combo. I think also he lives somewhere. I think in Portugal. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think he's like somewhere in Europe. So yeah, so that's my main goal, really. Just to write. The music what I feel like to write and play it with the like with the with the musicians who I really like and like admire. So that's my that's my goal, and also I really happy to and like I really enjoy to teach, and share like share all of my thoughts because I had pretty difficult way of getting out of um, from my actually my hometown and meet personally great big names jazz musician and have a lesson with them and just to hear them live it was just a huge huge thing Uh, so yeah I would highly recommend to like to all of the saxophonists who is just starting playing saxophone, check out as much concerts as you can and like believe in yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a question on Instagram. So Raoul is asking, what's your favorite bebop song and can you play some?
Hmm. What's my favorite bebop song? Well, I don't really have this like favorite. I don't really have like like favorite song. I mean, like I'm mostly like focused on playing like like the music what I write and yeah but I do like also the like traditional jazz and uh, yeah I don't know. I mean maybe I will do it like in the end of our like interview and I can tell and I can play something also
Okay.
before
After? Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your setup? So what reeds do you play?
Well, I will start with my saxophone. I have an old Con
Okay.
Chuberry
Mm-hmm.
saxophone. I believe it's from 1923 or something. Yeah, 22, 24. So some of these years. And I use the Syos mouthpiece is 9 star, and I use Rigotti reeds. It's 3.5 hard. Yeah, 3.5 hard reeds. So I use quite big setup as some of the people can say, but it's a weird thing. Like if you ask me what kind of mouthpiece I use on my alto, it's actually I go for 7. I don't go for big mouthpieces on
Mm-hmm.
alto. It just doesn't work. I have different probably sound in my head how alt's supposed to sound like, but for tenor. It feels really like natural for me because some of the other people who tried my setup, there was actually they couldn't blow into it or it was too difficult and I was like, oh my god, what do we play
Mm-hmm.
it's, yeah, but yeah, I use Rigotti reeds probably for the last 2.5 probably 3 years. Yeah, and before I moved I used I don't know like how for other people, but um, you know when I was 14, 15, and we didn't really have a choice. We had either like Van Doren, either Rico Reed. I
Mm-hmm.
mean like at least in my home city, and I've been using Rico Just Select for like a really really long time, and I've been fan of this reed because they was quite bright and they was really flexible, and then they could take the the power of your air of your blowing, but uh, like it's also mm, like I switched to Rigotti like really randomly. As I think it was my first time uh, when I went to New York. Yeah, I checked out. Yeah, I just got a box of no, like a couple of boxes of different sizes. Just to get my size because there's different sizes think with the
Mhm.
different brands. So I got Rigotti reeds, and I was just like like surprised by sound quality, because it's really, I mean, like, it's my personal thoughts, but they are like a couple levels like above of any any other reeds probably what you can find now on the market, and they are not that popular, but I think I think it's a matter of time, and like more people gonna check it, because so far uh, I tried those reeds and I gave it to my ex teacher probably like a year ago, what I've been studying, and he switched to that brand, and now I can see like guys from the school, like like majority of the saxophonists, they use them, and second thing what I want to say about this Rigotti reeds, that so far from it's actually crazy to say, probably some of the people they're not gonna believe to me, but I like, I mean, like, I try to save as much money as I can on reeds, really, and before, when I used this Rico or other brands, usually if you buy a box of 5 reeds, so you have 2 reeds which is ready to play, 2 reeds which is a bit too hard probably, but either you either like like either it's a matter of how long you're gonna um, practice on it, and like it gets just a bit softer, and then it's just right on the spot. And usually one of the reed, it was always unplayable. It just like either it was too soft, either it was just like too dark, and it was just like not possible to blow. But with the Rigotti reed so far, I buy them, yeah, and I didn't have any reeds which I had to throw out. So I used 10 reeds of 10, and of course I keep some of them for the performance, like some of the reeds like for the for the practice session. But most of the times also it happens that if you go to play some gig or whatever, you just sometimes you stress out over like a lot of things going on, so you just pick the reed, and like you don't have this like a gamble thing, like I used to have, before with like with other brands, that you always like like when you open the box, you actually it's like it was like a lottery, like you didn't know what is going to happen, like either it's going to be like a box of reed, like either it's going to be bad box of reed, and like with the Rigotti, they have this consistency just to be almost exactly the same. They can be just a little bit darker, just a little bit brighter, but it's almost like on the same level. But if you look on the other brands, what I personally experience, it just reads completely different, uh, like sound wise, but also the like the quality wise, and like on the long like also if you look from the financial perspective, because as most of the saxophone players probably will understand me that you should save money, like you need you need reeds which will work, and you're gonna pay less money, and that's kind of the thing that with the Rigotti is definitely you're gonna save money, because like most likely you're gonna use the whole box of it. At least that's what I do.
Mhm.
Like even if it's too hard, I just blow a bit hard. Yeah, I mean, like it's difficult, but actually people who is listening to you, they probably not gonna really admit like was it harder reads or was it softer reads, unless if it's also saxophonist who is listening to you, and they heard you so many times before.
Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, we actually have a special offer right now with Rigotti. So when you buy a Syos mouthpiece, you get a free box of reed of Rigotti reeds. So I guess that's good moment to try both the good mouthpiece and good reeds, and yeah, at the same time. And it's actually a new line of reeds. So I don't know if you try them yet. They are called Wild. It's brand new, so
Oh yeah,
they are
yeah, didn't
yeah.
try, but I would be more than happy to do it soon. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are made with the uh, like wild can, so it's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely worth to check it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have another question on Instagram. So Mohamed asks, "How many saxophones do you have?"
Well, I always use my cone, chewberry, and because so far I don't want to I don't want to be like what is called like like to say like anything bad about other brands and or anything and stuff like this. But I was trying the bunch of Mark Sixes. I was trying balance action. Like I tried different modern horns. I mean, not that much actually modern horns, but these cones they have just something special in it. They have this like warm and big sound, uh, which you cannot really get from from like anything else. Probably if you would get some old like balance section or super balance section saxophones, you would definitely you could dig like we actually we had a conversation with with my teacher what I have now with the Carl Martin. He's fantastic saxophone player from Sweden. Check him out if you have an opportunity. Uh, yeah, because he had a lot of he's a huge fan of super balance action saxophone. They have something what you can what you can y- y- you know they, they have something that you can get this old big vintage sound, but also you can go to kind of different you can turn to different directions as well. But this cornet has just like big wide sound, and like it's great instrument to play if you play in quartet or quintet, but it's probably not the best instrument to play in a big band because the whole sound is just like spread, you know.
Hmm.
So like most of the modern horns, they have this like specific sound, and like always keep a secondary saxophone, in case of something happen, and I had quite a lot of different other tenors. I had super action tenor, then I had another cone just in silver, and now I stopped on Mark 7. It's modern horn. It also is a bit difficult to switch because my corner has this really old what is called like fingering, right? So when you go to this when you go to this modern saxophone, it's just you just feel like a beginner really because everything is so different and so
Hmm.
smooth, and like you don't really have to keep your keep your hands like wide like this when you play my saxophone. I mean like this old cones, or either it could be like Boucher or other stuff. But also I have soprano, and I got yesterday this custom. One of the first versions of Syos mouthpieces for soprano saxophone. I have soprano, and I have alto, also tuberry, silver one, and yeah, and I have a flute and clarinet. But I wish to practice it more because uh, because it's always not enough of time to do everything at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. You wanted to speak about your practice routines. What techniques can you recommend? What is your
Oh,
practice?
well, for the last of yeah, probably the last 2 3 years, I was really crazy about finding my my sound and how it's actually supposed to work, because I always wanted to get this bigger sound in the, and like so many like saxophonists say it, so many big names said it before, that the sound is the most important thing. And uh, when I look now on internet, on Instagram, there's a bunch of like fantastic saxophonists with a great technique, and like they know thousands, hundreds of standards, and they know like hundreds of solos and stuff like this. But and they have like fantastic vocabulary, but I think they're missing the one more thing, just to think about actually the sound. So uh, if you will ask me about my practice routine, is mainly starts from long notes. I mean, like it's always starts from long notes, and I'm trying into like so many people say that you have to practice long notes like 15 minutes a day, and just to like as a warm up thing, and just move on and stuff. But uh, I think I spend way more, way too much time just on playing long notes, and uh, for me, the best way was to like like to get the the quality of sound what I want, and also the the pitch, because also like it's quite tricky to play on the old horns because of pitch. You really have to watch
Mhm.
out. So one of the fantastic things what I would really like recommend for all of the saxophonists who is who who is like in the same like situation, that they work on sound and probably pitch and stuff like this, because so many saxophonists or like other like woodwind, or just like players, they they practice long notes with the tuner, and like it's a good thing, but it's more I don't know, but like it's my personal thing, but I think it's really like a visual thing. You don't really use actually much of your ears. And a couple of years ago, I got I just copied from someone. Like you probably can get it all like on internet even for free. We don't have to pay anything for that. Yeah, these drones. So it's basically a 12 MP3 record, just with the drone, just like with a note, whatever, and it has from C to B, right? And if you listen to, it's some sort of like a meditation also for me, because when you hear the sound, and if you like listen more focused, you can actually hear like the like an like an overtones of it. So like you can see this, you can hear this fifth and like octave, both and stuff like this. So I would highly like recommend to one of my like exercises, just to play long notes with the drone, and also you can build up the intervals. I think it's really helpful uh, for all of the horn players, really, because if you want to play in tune with somebody else, or if you play in big band and you want to be like in tune with the trumpet, or whatever, like you're supposed to hear uh, like the like in intervals, right? and that was really helpful for me, just to because like when you play, like, let's say like you have C drawn, and like you play G, and like if you reach like the exact pitch, you can hear how it's like resonate. You can even feel it in your scalp. It's a weird thing, but you can hear the like the like the like a vibration on it, like of it. And my other exercise, like regarding the sound, it's uh, if we are talking about the jazz saxophone, because probably it it doesn't really require classical saxophonist, but it's about keep your like embouchure loose in a way. So like it's also great exercise to practice your diaphragm, to practice your air, because it's like a one, like a mechanism. I don't know if it's the right word of your throat, your diaphragm. Uh, so like one of the exercise what I like to do is when you play, let's say you play just D, right, and you go like you like you you lose your lower lip, and like it goes probably slightly lower, like to almost like C sharp, and then you push with your diaphragm the airstream, and it goes back to D. And like let's say if you practice low notes with metronome and you can keep it for uh, 8 or 10 beats, probably with this exercise, if you're gonna like pull down and you're gonna use more like air pressure, uh, you can probably like you will hold it for 6 beats or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but you will feel how your embouchure get loose, and how your throat is like like start get bigger. So like the bigger airstream comes out of your diaphragm, and you will feel how your diaphragm muscle will will get stronger, and you will feel more confident, like confident with your pitch. You will feel more power. I mean, like you're not gonna get tired of playing uh, for a long time, or like let's say you play like 2 long sets in the jazz club, and you're not gonna feel that, oh my lip is getting tired, or I cannot go high, this this sort of stuff. And one of the greatest exercise is just playing like in octaves, but do it in legato. And like this is the no, this is probably the first one. What you would go for the saxophone is just a B flat. So like you don't use, or I mean, you can also use the octave key, but you play B flat, then you like let's say you like metronome on 40, and you when you play 2 beats of B flat, but without octave key, then you play 2 beats uh, with octave key, then you play the lowest B flat, and then you go back to B flat. So totally you have 8 beats, and also in the same time you use the drone, so you can actually um, you can fix your like you know like the position of your lips, and like how deep like the mouthpiece in your mouth supposed to be, because I don't know if you could see, but so many people, so many saxophonists, like when they play lower, they move the jaw, they move it a bit down, or if they go up, they pull it, slightly up front, and stuff like this. But um I believe that you're supposed to have exactly, I mean, like, like 90% exactly the same, like a position of your jaw and like lips and stuff like this. It's just a matter of like pushing airstream, and it's a matter of throat, and it's a matter of your well practiced diaphragm. And
Okay.
that's uh, that's uh, that's uh, that's for me. It's like the most important exercise, really. And like the other parts, I just like I usually I change it from time to time, as if like as I feel, but I'm trying to transcribe it. And also like regarding transcription, if we're going to talk about transcription, is it's really important to transcribe it right, because so many people I can also see on Instagram, they transcribe the like the the newest no, I mean, like, I'm especially talking now about the saxophonists. You really have to dig everything from the transcription, because so many people, they just transcribe and they can play solo with the record, but it just basically, like an ear training, but it's only one one part of actually what you can dig of the transcription. And first of all, you're supposed to learn the chords of the tune, what you learn, and if it's some like modern tune, if it's not in the like real book, you better have to sit like with the piano and check out the harmony, before you start to transcribe, and then you can move on to your to your practice room. But the best way of transcribe, I found it by not writing it down until you actually can play the whole solo. Unless if it's like super, like super crazy solo of like the 10 choruses, it's probably too difficult to. And like also like like it depends on the goal. Well, like what is your goal of the transcription. But like also you can take like the favorite phrases, what you really like, and write it down, and just to sit and have a look, like what's going there, what, like what's going on there, why it sounds good, why you like it, and you can build up it into your language. So you can just take any phrase and try to play it differently, and go through the all keys, because it's gonna really stretch, like I called it, like stretch your brain, or just make your brain work faster, really. That's really great exercise. And I think it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you are pro. I spoke with a lot of big name saxophonists, and they still transcribe. They still transcribe, and they go back to the really old records, and they check out the other like modern players, because I think it's part of our job, to be aware of what play other people, and try to reflect on it with the old playing, and yeah, like other stuff. What I would mention is it's good exercise, but I never probably did it like perfect, or I never had the goal just to be to be like super sharp on it. But I like to go sometimes through some of the tunes in 12 keys. I don't really transpose the melodies. Probably it's bad. I don't know. Maybe I have to maybe I should do it more. But just to play through the changes in different keys, it helps you to remember standard, and it helps you think faster. It just I mean, like, at least it was really helpful for me. And also you can change the stuff in. You can take some simple tune, and like I think we all have this app now. There's like a iReal Pro, whatever. You can just change the from 4/4. Let's say you can set on 5/4, or you can set one bar on 4 and 3, so you get like 7/4 thing. So like you can practice the same standard, just like in different um, what is called, like playing 5/7, or whatever 11. It also helps because I've met a lot of musicians who is not really into this stuff. Like a lot of people who is like really into this traditional jazz, which was 4 and 3. Uh, so I think if you want to be sharp nowadays, you should also check out like other rhythms. Like also polyrhythms and all of this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing everything. It's really interesting. Uh, do you want to play another tune before we leave?
Oh yeah, yeah, Sonny. Yeah,
Thank
a
you.
couple of courses on Grindolphin, like on Grindolphin Street. So yeah, thank you very much for people who listened and been with us.
Yeah, thank you for Alexander for coming. Thank you everyone to for listening to us, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, thank you again for coming tonight.
Yeah,
And
really thank you for having me. Such a such a pleasure and honor
yeah,
to speak to you guys you know, and happy to like to share with the people and hope it was helpful. My thoughts about practicing and sound and all this stuff. So thank you.
yeah, thank you very much. And I hope we will meet at some point in Paris after when we are able to travel
Oh yeah,
again. That would
definitely.
be nice.
I would be more than happy to visit your factory or your your place and meet personally and play. maybe together. Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully this virus will slowly go down and everything go back to normal. So I wish to everybody who been with us stay healthy and positive,
Yeah.
and everything is gonna go back to normal. It's just a matter of time. We just have to wait.
Yeah, true. Yeah, take care everyone, and yeah, bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.